like my generation was the generation that got shit talked and got told we were garbage, we were stupid, we were worthless, we had no heroes, we had no goals, we had no nothing, we were just worthless. And that didn't leave scars, which is why so many of us are highly educated. Up until like the more recent millennial generation, we were the most educated generation in history because we had to be, and we just sort of shut up and did it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about how cool Gen X is. Gen X was cool. Gen X is not cool anymore. Most people who are Gen X are fucking boomers, and I don't say that in the way the teens all hey boomer. I mean like legitimately a bunch of fucking boomers. They didn't sell out. They bought in. It's so don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about how cool Gen X is, but the playing field needs to even. And I mean, like, that's the socialist in me, but that's also just the human being in me. We cannot continue down this road where every single person who's under 40 is just destroyed financially, crippled with an impossible to pay back student debt, living in a world where they're expected to pay outlandish amounts of money just to survive. And meanwhile, we're like, ugh, do we have to pay you more than minimum wage? Do you have a master's degree to earn that? Like, it just isn't real. That's just not real. And I would understand it if times were tough all over, but they're fucking not. You know? Wealthy people, they be doing okay. And they just keep doing better and better and better. And that's my problem. I don't care. You want to be wealthy? If you're a big, bright, brainy dude and you start a corporation or you work as a CEO or whatever the fuck, like, cool, that's awesome. Right on. Congratulations. You've beat capitalism. Wonder kid. But like, you don't get to have everything. It's just not how the world is. I can go on for hours and hours about this shit. What will always annoy me is that this education and they get this is education. They get mad at people not being educated as if university isn't 8,000 a semester. Not only that, but like the downplaying of anything that doesn't feed the capitalist beast from an education perspective, right? If you spend money on an education in something like Indigenous studies or gender studies or whatever, you're just gonna have nothing but people going like, ugh. What are you going to get to do? Get a job as an Indigenous woman? Fuck off. University isn't a training school. That's trade school. And trade schools are important too. But university should be for gathering further knowledge. And that knowledge is valuable, even if we don't immediately, recognize that it can apply to a particular job or whatever. Like, that shit drives me nuts. I got a degree in computers. And I got a degree in computers because I was like, I have a family I'm going to need to feed, or I'm going to have a family I'm going to need to feed. This is a good idea. It will work for me. And it did. But people who are going to school for things that are not going to, STEM careers that are not going to propel them to the top of capitalism are still fucking human. And they still deserve to have, like, buying power. And they still deserve to have, like, the ability to learn the things they want to learn. Why do we have to always learn shit just for the perspective of being rich? That shit's stupid. Millionaires are not the real problem. Billionaires can suck an egg. Yeah, when I was a kid, millionaires were the problem because there were no billionaires. But that's the thing is, as soon as you're like, okay, billionaires are the problem, the next thing will be trillionaires, right? Because people will continue to just suck the fat out of our society until we're all screwed. And, meanwhile, do nothing to solve the problems that are actually facing us and instead focus on, like, bullshit culture war crap and pretending the climate change isn't real. Oops. Some of the most incompetent people I've worked with have been hugely overeducated too. Absolutely. I've known people with great education who were awesome. I've known people with the same degree as me that are just buffoons. Education doesn't make you smart. Learning to think makes you smart. And not everyone who gets a degree is going to be good at their job. I remember my mom. My mom went to university when I was a kid, like in my formative years. She got a degree in music and education, and she graduated with distinction with like a 3.9 something GPA, like a very good GPA. And had she turned around and reapplied for the same program that year, she would not have been accepted because the cutoff was like, if she got a 3.93 or whatever, the cutoff was 3.94, whatever the particulars are. Being a 3.94 student doesn't make you a good teacher. Being a 4.0 in computer nerd school doesn't make you a good computer person, right? Education is only a part of the thing. And we haven't got a effective way to really assess whether people are good at stuff. I used to teach college. I specifically designed tests to validate that people knew the content rather than, the typical answer is multiple choice tests where your whole job is to try and confuse people into picking the wrong thing. That's not testing their knowledge. That's testing their caginess. Like, that's just dumb. Education doesn't correlate much with skill or knowledge or ability in my experience. I think it correlates in as much as if you see someone has an education, you can make a certain degree of assumption about baseline knowledge on a topic. But I mean, Jordan Peterson's got a doctorate. That guy doesn't know shit. Doesn't know shit about psychology, doesn't know shit about... The only thing he knows about is cleaning his room. And if you look at interviews, he's not cleaning his room. Motherfucker looks like the crypt keeper soaked in alum. What the fuck, right? But he's got an illustrious degree and had an illustrious career, churning out more people with illustrious degrees. And that's like, really? Yeah, exactly. I have to see it. You literally can make the assumption that they have a certain amount of baseline knowledge, but that knowledge even isn't going to be enough to prove whether someone's going to be successful in a field or not. I shudder to think how many people Peterson has influenced. I loved his little whine article about why he's no longer going to be a teacher anymore. And he's like, just being taught by me is making people's, credentials be doubted. And I'm like, yeah, dude, that should be the case. You have proved to be a terrible psychologist and a really lousy political thinker, and in general, a problematic person. If I had a resume on my desk and it was like, oh, I studied under the grand Jordan Peterson, I'd be like, okay, so do you know your course content? Do you have the basic understanding of humanity? Can you work with other people? Because Jordan sure can't. He's too worried about, oh, that girl there is wearing makeup, therefore she wants to coitus with me. Like, whoa. The fuck, dude? Peterson is such a waste of smart mind and education. I don't even think he's got a smart mind. Like, he is word salad. I'm going to show you a website, and it makes me think of Jordan Peterson, even though it's not Jordan Peterson. You guys ever been to wisdomofchopra.com? This is like amazing shit. So we're going to fade over here. So yeah, this is wisdomofchopra.com. It's a random Deepak Chopra quote generator. So if I click this, what's going to happen is, so here's the preamble. It's been said by some that the thoughts and tweets of Deepak Chopra are indistinguishable from a set of profound-sounding words put together in a random order, particularly tweets tagged with #cosmic consciousness. The site aims to test that claim. Each quote is generated from a list of words that can be found in Deepak Chopra's Twitter stream, randomly strung together in a sentence. The key to joy explores subjective self-knowledge. Like that sounds like something he would say. Likewise, elephants are insects may not be the best example. Way to prove me wrong. A single particle is entangled in incredible sexual energy, right? That all sounds very legitimate. And when you listen to fucking Jordan B talk, it just sounds like oh, so, the problem with the modern society is the transes are all running around, and the dragon of chaos obviously is expressing itself through the intrinsic, almost numismatic value that can be expressed through quantitative analysis of true gender biology, and therefore, like, dude, you don't know none of those words made sense, and you're wrong and stupid. What the fuck? All accountants are jerks, so you're not wrong. My son listened to him as a teen. Took a lot of work to counter his shit. Yeah, my stepson spent a lot of time Jordan Petersoning, and my eldest son has been very, very quick to be right there to counter every time they're hanging out and talk about like the new thing Jordan Peterson said, and Seth's right there going, "Oh fuck no, oh no, you're wrong. Let me tell you why you're wrong." It's pretty good to see. Might as well take a course from Joe Rogan. Yeah, unfortunately, bro isn't a course, but if you could get a degree in Roganism, more power to you. Yeah, it's funny like the Jordan Peterson thing and the Joe Rogan thing are both so similar in that they're everywhere and they seep into regular humans' brains. And with Peterson, it's literally like, well, he said to clean my room, and that was right, and therefore he's probably right about the trans people or about whatever. It's like reading the Bible and being like, do unto others. That's a good rule. I also bet that means that God turned a bunch of kids into food for bears because he was angry at them, or made a town gay, or whatever the fuck. Like it's called a logical leap for a reason. It's a fucking leap. But yeah, there you go. There's me. First off, I want to say thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed, please like and subscribe. It really does help me out. Thank you to my patrons that support me on Patreon. I am a little streamer, and these people are all really awesome for supporting me. I try to put up stuff at least once a week, and I live stream every Saturday at noon Mountain Time on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, like an old man. Again, thanks for watching, and have a kick-ass day.